It's a WRAL weather alert day with dangerous heat starting today all the way through the holiday weekend. We'll talk about how hot it will be this afternoon and how hot we'll stay all the way through Monday.
3 lanes of I-85 North are closed in Durham, and that's because of a crash involving a tractor trailer. What we know about this crash this morning near Guest Road. And today, a state budget vote. Today, lawmakers will make a decision about the $34 billion spending plan. What to expect as the long-awaited deal moves closer and closer to the governor's desk. Well, thanks so much for waking up with us here dark and early on this Thursday on WRAL News. Happy to have you here with us. I'm Chris Lovingood. You got my buddy meteorologist Grant Skinner in right now to tell you about a heat advisory that will be in place today because, as you heard from the show open, it is a WRAL weather alert day.
Yeah, and it won't be intensely hot till this afternoon. This morning it'll be fine, just mild conditions. But by this afternoon, highs will slowly climb to around 100 degrees and heat index values could reach to around 105. That's why it's a WRAL weather alert day. Doesn't mean the entire day will be intensely hot, but we can see a good portion of the day from noon through 8 o'clock with some very hot temperatures. Again, this heat advisory mainly covers our northwestern spots, but even to the south and east, it will be hot this afternoon on this weather alert day. This is the view outside right now from our WRAL Garner Tower camera. Just some mid-level clouds this morning. There's a little bit of moisture. Otherwise, it's going to stay mostly dry throughout the day today. Rain chances staying minimal, and temperatures already starting quite mild this morning in the 70s. Some spots still in the upper 70s. 78 Raleigh, 78 in Durham, 75 Roxborough, 73 in Rocky Mount. This afternoon, we get to 100 in Raleigh, 101 Fayetteville, 99 Lewisburg. We'll talk more about these hot temperatures this afternoon, plus when we could see slightly cooler temperatures after the holiday weekend. That's coming up.
That's a lot of zeros, Grant. All right, we'll see you in just a bit. Okay, so folks, 3 lanes of I-85 North near Durham are closed this morning, and that's because of a tractor-trailer crash. This crash happened around 1:30 this morning near Guest Road. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker, and you'll see right here there are 2 trailers, one with heavy back-end damage. We have reached out to Durham police to find out what happened in this crash and if anyone was injured. Now, as you just talked about, today is a WRAL weather alert day because of the dangerous heat. Folks, temperatures, as you saw Grant show you, are expected to hit triple digits today. Let's bring in Ali Kadlabar. She is live right now outside Jordan Lake State Recreation Area this morning. And Ali, this is so important for people to prioritize being cool because they're heading out for their holiday weekend for camping and boating, and that is when they're susceptible to the heat.
Yeah, many campsites here at Jordan Lake are already sold out. Now, people are going to spend a lot of time in the water to cool off, but the drought and low water levels may affect that. Now, this video from Sky 5 shows the water levels at Jordan Lake. Park officials say boat ramps at Poplar Point Campground are closed. Swimming areas are open, but swimmers should look out for sudden drop-offs. People should wear life jackets while swimming or on a boat, and park rangers say if you're spending any time outdoors, it is important to stay cool. They say stay hydrated, also drink plenty of electrolytes. Park officials also recommend using cooling towels, wearing cooling bandanas, using misting fans, and they say limit any time outside during those peak hours. Reporting live at Jordan Lake, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Today, the House and Senate will both take final votes on the state's $34 billion budget. This would send the first budget in over a year to the governor's desk. And full details of that budget were released on Tuesday. It will fund raises for teachers, state employees, and law enforcement. It also includes tax cuts along with funding for hurricane recovery, schools, transportation, and other state priorities. Lawmakers spent hours debating that proposal yesterday. Many Democrats have criticized this budget, but they still voted to advance it. They say state employees should not have to wait any longer for raises and bonuses. A handful of Republicans voted against that plan over local provisions affecting their districts. The budget is more than 600 pages long. So our entire NC Capitol team has been digging into what is in this budget. You can find a longer breakdown on the WRAL YouTube channel. And folks, be sure to stay with WRAL throughout the day as state lawmakers prepare to cast their vote on the budget. Tune in for updates in our evening news shows starting at 4 p.m. Well, this morning, investigators are looking into what went wrong when a jet and a box truck collided at RDU. Sky 5 flew above that scene just before 2 p.m. yesterday. Now, to be clear, no one was hurt, but this photo here, it shows the damage that was left behind on that plane after the crash in the middle of a taxiway. A flight instructor we spoke with says that vehicles are supposed to give planes the right-of-way on the tarmac.
There are incidences where something can approach the airplane from a side and you might not see it until it gets pretty close.
Now, that crash shut down the airport for about an hour. The NTSB is aware of that situation and is waiting for more information to decide whether this crash is worth a full investigation. A man is facing an attempted murder charge after authorities say he stabbed someone in southern Wake County. Sky 5 was above that scene on Chandler Ridge Circle, and that's off Fayetteville Road near NC 540, around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Saifi Nagy Murray Wilson is charged in this case. The victim was taken to the hospital, and then that person had serious injuries. We have reached out to get an update on that person's condition this morning. A man who is accused of that stabbing near Wendell is also expected in court today. Talking about 38-year-old Earnhardt Joyner is charged with felony assault. Police say that Joyner stabbed a man in his home, and that victim is expected to live. A USPS worker was killed while delivering the mail, and that happened in Wilkes County, which is about 2.5 hours west of Raleigh. Police say that a man kidnapped and killed mail carrier Brandy Reynolds. She was a 35-year-old mother of two. The SBI says Reynolds was found dead after someone in the neighborhood called for help. The USPS confirms she was delivering mail on her route at that time, and neighbors held a prayer vigil at the end of their street. They say that she went above and beyond for all the homes on her route.
And I'm thinking to myself that this can't be happening in our neighborhood. My heart broke for her family and for her children. And I just kept saying, no, that's not her. That's not my Brandy.
Now, William Durham is the person right here charged with murder and kidnapping. He is being held without bond. The celebration of America's 250th birthday took President Donald Trump to North Dakota. He arrived in Bismarck yesterday on the brand new Air Force One. He then attended a dedication ceremony for the new Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library. After touring that new library, President Trump praised Teddy Roosevelt's toughness as a leader.
As America turns 250 years old, we look at this remarkable man and we recall that with effort, determination, and drive, there is nothing that Americans of competence cannot do. Nothing.
Now, during his speech, the president was critical of the recent Supreme Court ruling on birthright citizenship. He has previously called on Congress to address that issue through legislation. Well, looks like Freddie Anderson is leaving the Carolina Hurricanes. The goalie signed a one-year, $2.75 million contract with the Edmonton Oilers yesterday. He spent the last 5 seasons with the Canes, and he won 13 playoff games during the Canes' Stanley Cup run this season. And looks like Team USA is moving on in the FIFA World Cup after a win over Bosnia and Herzegovina last night in the round of 32. The U.S. took a 1-0 lead just before halftime on a goal, and this was the third goal by Flo Balogun of that tournament there. Now, in the second half, he received a red card, though, for stepping on a Bosnian player's ankle, and that left the U.S. down a player for more than 30 minutes. But the Americans scored anyway. Again, Mark Tillman's free kick goal made it 2-0, which ended up being the final. And the USA will play Belgium next in the round of 16. That match will be on Monday at 8 p.m. on Fox 50. Time on the clock right now is 4:38 this Thursday. Empire State of Drama. 2 people are in jail this morning after a display of love high above Manhattan. What we know about their climb to the top of the skyscraper, plus visible pollution. Trash that has been underwater is now visible as Falls Lake recedes in the drought. The effort's happening to clean up the lake.
And a mild start to this morning, but temperatures heat up quickly. We'll be at around 80 degrees by 9 a.m. So make sure to get all the exercising done earlier today before it gets very, very hot. We'll talk more about the intense heat this afternoon and how hot we'll stay all the way through the holiday weekend. It's coming up. .43 now on this Thursday morning. Our next weather maker is this area of high pressure. It's going to stay in place for the next handful of days, and we could have some isolated showers and a few storms over the next couple of days, but they will stay very isolated. Just a slim rain chance. There's high pressure right here. You can see to the north there's a front draped all the way across portions of Wisconsin, all the way through the New England states, but not going to have an impact to us. This high pressure is going to keep us quiet and very hot. I want to show you the heat risk. This factors in the long-term effects of heat and also medically how it can impact you. And you can see a major heat risk for areas in the triangle and points north and west. That's why the heat advisory is in place for those spots today. Already some extreme heat back to our west. The extreme heat will continue to expand outward over the next few days. Make sure to have the water and electrolytes. Make sure your AC is in good condition as well. It's going to be very hot through the weekend. We'll talk more about those temperatures all the way through the 4th of July coming up in just a bit.
All right, sounds good, Grant. We'll see your full forecast in a bit. Okay, so there was a bit of a dangerous climb that was happening high above New York City yesterday. You may have seen this. 2 people, though, are now in custody after making their way up the Empire State Building. These are the 2 Russian nationals that are known for climbing skyscrapers around the world. That pair unrolled a large banner at the top of the building, and it displayed a message of peace. The man then got down on one knee and appeared to propose. The 2 embraced and they kissed. And then they started to climb down, and that's where they met people there to help them get down safely. But then after that, yeah, they were arrested, and they are now facing charges, including reckless endangerment and criminal trespassing. Well, it looks like Cape Fear Valley Health is eliminating nearly 200 positions. The hospital says this is because of the rising cost of health care and the decline in federal reimbursements. Of those 200 positions, 138 are currently filled. The hospital says it has already taken other cost-cutting measures. Eligible employees will be offered a separation package or another role where possible. Raleigh City Council leaders will talk about an offer that the city has received to sell the Wilmington Street Station parking deck. This is causing a lot of controversy online. A company from Denver is offering more than $15 million for that parking garage. And that offer came in before the city put out an official request for information to sell the property. City Council will discuss this at its Tuesday meeting that's coming up. Now, parking changes are coming to Raleigh next month. In fact, starting August 1st, parking rates for on-street parking and certain parking facilities will change. These are the first major parking rate updates since 2018. They were approved by City Council as part of the 2027 budget, and the city still plans to have free 2-hour parking programs in the city. As people are preparing to spend the 4th of July weekend at Falls Lake, the ongoing drought is exposing more than just the shoreline. It's also revealing trash that has been hidden beneath feet of water. The drought has lowered lake levels and exposed the trash, and that's why volunteers were out yesterday. The cleanup effort started with a post on Reddit, and that quickly turned into a community effort. Volunteers spent the day filling bags with trash and hauling debris away from the shoreline.
When you have a ton of people enjoying the lake, there's obviously going to be some trash left behind, and you want to prevent that as much as possible, but it's not always the case. So every once in a while, you need people to come down and just clean up the area.
I think opportunities like this that come along is really important to for the community building aspect. It's really wonderful to meet people that come from different walks of life.
The weather is going to be hot, folks, and dry for the foreseeable future. So you're going to be seeing areas exposed of the shoreline for quite some time, and hopefully less trash after this effort. 13,000 AC units are being recalled as much of the country deals with extreme heat. Daikin Comfort Technology Manufacturing says the recall is because of burn and fire risks. 2 models are affected, and they were sold between April and December of last year. If you have one, yeah, you should probably stop using that and contact the manufacturer for a refund. Grant, I do want to go back to what we just saw a little bit ago, those volunteers picking up trash there after the shoreline is visible from Falls Lake. Did you notice what they were wearing, right? They had hats on, they're covering their sleeves, moisture wickening shirts and such. This is the type of things you should be wearing, folks, if you're outside, especially doing such good work like that.
That's right, light and then really light color clothing, and also light in terms of the overall weight of the clothing. It's going to be really, really important all the way through this weekend as we see that intense heat. Also, hats are important to protect yourself from the sun. Lots of sunscreen, and then of course, water, electrolytes, all those are going to be very important over the next handful of days and throughout the summertime as we see really hot temperatures. We have a weather alert day in place today because this afternoon, all the way through this evening, we could see some very intense heat. Now, this morning will stay mild, but by this afternoon, the temperatures will climb to the triple digits. The heat advisory is for the triangle and points north and west, also back towards Southern Pines, up through Rocky Mountain Conway as well. a peak heat index at around 105 degrees today. So already feeling very hot today, and the heat will only build through this weekend. This is a view from Durham right now. All is quiet this morning. Clear skies to start our day. 78 in Raleigh, 76 in Southern Pines, 75 in Roxborough, 71 in Goldsboro. Here's a look at those highs in the heat index this afternoon. Very hot, up to 100 in Raleigh. Peak heat index at around 105. Fayetteville at 100, 105 for the heat index there. 99 in Lewisburg. You see more spots reaching well into the triple digits for those heat index values. So again, make sure to stay hydrated throughout the day. And we'll keep weather alert days all the way through the start of next week. 102 for your high tomorrow. We get to 103 for the 4th of July. So very hot then. Again, make sure to take those precautions before you spend a lot of time outside. 102 on Sunday. We'll have lots of sunshine, just a small rain chance, but it will be very, very hot out there. And if we have an extreme heat warning, which is where we have a heat index of 110 or above, only 1 or 2 of those happen per year usually in central North Carolina, so that would be a very rare heat alert for us to see. The good news is past Monday, we'll finally see a bit of a cool down. Again, it's funny when we get these triple digit temperatures, we look at mid 90s and we're finally like, wow, ready for that kind of cool down, even though it's still going to be well above average for those temperatures. And Wednesday, 94 degrees, but that's going to bring us a little bit of relief and hopefully some better rain chances during the first half of next week. We also need the rain desperately.
Yes, we certainly do, Grant. Thank you for tracking this for us. Your time is 4:49. Grilling risks. Doctors warn of cancer-causing chemicals released when you cook meat. The ways you can limit the danger and protect yourself. Plus, The Passion of the Christ returns, the remaster that improves as it comes back to theaters. Well, 3 lanes of I-85 North near Durham are closed this morning, and that's because of a tractor-trailer crash. This happened around 1:30 this morning near Guest Road. What you're seeing right here is actually a live look through the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Look closely here. You can see these 2 trailers here, one that has heavy back-end damage, and teams are trying to get this all cleaned up because obviously this is not going to be great for during the commute, as it looks like at least, again, that lane is closed. We have reached out to Durham Police to find out what happened in this crash and if anyone was hurt. So if you're planning on grilling for the 4th of July, doctors are warning you to, of course, be careful because you may be unleashing dangerous chemicals. Doctors say chemicals that can be released while grilling meat can lead to cancer growth, but there are steps you can take to help reduce your risk for exposure. You should choose leaner meats rather than processed options like hot dogs and sausages and bacon. That cuts down on cooking time, and that can help too.
The longer that meat is exposed to the flame, the more chances we have to create some of those carcinogen effects. So if you can pre-cook some of the meat, like boil it a little bit and then finish it off on the grill, that will help.
Now, another way to cut down on cooking time is to reduce, or I should say, cut these into smaller pieces and to make kebabs. You can marinate your meat before grilling as well. Looks like Netflix is picking up a new true crime show, and The Passion of the Christ is returning to theaters. Douglas Hyde has those headlines and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
The Passion of the Christ is returning to the big screen. Mel Gibson's 2004 biblical blockbuster is back in cinemas for a 1-week run in September. It's been newly remastered in 4K with Dolby Atmos sound and will include a preview of the sequel, The Resurrection of the Christ. Netflix just picked up the murder of John Benet Ramsey after Paramount Plus decided to pass on the show. Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owen star as John Benet's parents, Patsy and John Ramsey. The limited series tells the story of the infamous unsolved case from different perspectives, including the media, investigators, and the Ramsey family. The murder of John Benet Ramsey begins streaming this winter. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Well, it looks like the Hurricanes are picking up fans all over the world after their Stanley Cup win, including the Pope. His Holiness now has a custom jersey with his name on it right there, Pope Leo. Pope Leo XIV met with State Labor Commissioner Luke Farley at the Vatican. The Pope also received the Order of the Tar Heel, which is the highest honor handed out by the Department of Labor. But he's from Chicago, so that's why I thought he might be a Blackhawks fan. But hey, I mean, when the Canes win, you got to support them, right? All right, time on the clock right now is 4:55. We're talking about state budget votes. Today, the House and Senate are expected to make a decision on the $34 billion spending plan. We'll get you caught up on the state's largest budget in history. Plus, RDU taxiway crash. A plane and a box truck collided, and that caused the airport to shut down, at least temporarily. New details from that investigation this morning. And folks, it is a WRAL weather alert day. You are getting a live look right now over Rocky Mount Mills. We could see temperatures as high as 100 degrees today. So meteorologist Grant Skinner is going to show us just how long these extreme temperatures are going to stay around.